What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That's the Alexis Arguello puppet.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benji's. Fire it up.
Oh, we are going to fire it up. I can't wait. I literally cannot wait. Been running this guy down for a minute now, and now we finally got him. It's an honor, sir, an honor.
What's up with it, man? How y'all doing?
I'm telling you, man, I've been trying to run you down for the longest time, man. You probably are sick of me. I've been in your messages like a motherfucker, man, trying to run you down, man. But, I mean, listen, man, first of all, this is the only boxing podcast that is a father-son duo. We're building our brand, building our resume, man, with great young fighters like you, trying to climb up, man, a lot like you, man. I'm sure you can relate, man. We've been tapped in since day one, man. We're tremendous fans, first and foremost, man. Love what you do, man.
I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all support.
Yeah. And I was just telling Benji's before we started this, man, the only thing that must be hurting from your last fight must be your fucking knuckles, man. All you did was connect with that dude's head.
Yeah, you're right about that. In my back. That boy kept hitting me in my back.
And by the way, congratulations, man. That was a great performance. Now, when you fight a guy like Miguel Medueno, do you take something away from that? Because we've had a guy by the name of Steve Claggett on this show in the past. He just fought Teofimo Lopez, gave him a very, very tough fight. I think Teofimo will look back on that fight at some point and say he learned something there. He had a tough guy in front of him that didn't go anywhere. It took his best all night. Did you take something like that away from a fight like that?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely my favorite fight out of all my professional fights. I learned a lot off that fight about myself in general. Yeah. And confidence is sky high right now for sure.
Yeah, it should be. It should be, man. 757, fucking stand the fuck up. You got a bona fide fucking hero here. It's you and it's Pusha T, and that's it. That's all I want to hear about. That's all I want to hear from Virginia, man. By the way, Pusha T is now the ambassador for Louis Vuitton.
Right, that's crazy.
Big things happening out of Virginia, man. Big things happening out of Virginia, man. You got to be the biggest, though. And one thing that pissed me off, though, about that night, though, man, and I think you noticed it, too. It happened both during yours and Kelvin's face-offs at the weigh-in. Who the fuck's the old guy getting in the way? You can't have a good old-fashioned face-off and get nose-to-nose with anybody anymore.
Right, it was the commissioner. Nobody honestly likes that commissioner. I ain't going to say too much about him, but the boxing world don't like that commissioner, and things definitely should change around that situation for sure.
Because one thing that you do that I love that you're bringing back to boxing is I like a little irreverence, man. You know what I mean? You bring back good old-fashioned shit talking. You're not afraid to drop a guy's name. And you're not just one of these guys that just tweets guys' names. You'll get in the middle of the ring and call a motherfucker out. You'll roll up on a guy in fucking person, dude. You've had it out with Frank Martin. You've had it out with Kid Austin, man. You don't give a fuck, dude, man. You're about it, man. I love that.
For sure.
Yeah. Benji's here with something.
No, I want to ask him what brought you to this sport? Like, was you beating a lot of kids up in school or what?
Had to be.
I mean, yeah, but that wasn't really why. That's not really why I started boxing. Like our mother just put us into boxing because first of all we was athletes. We always played sports, and she found out literally it was a boxing gym up the street from us that we could literally just walk to. And it was boxing all year round. So for us to see her thinking in her mind, if we can be active in something all year round, that's a plus for her. You know what I'm saying? She don't gotta worry about us getting into other things. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what her mind was on, just something that we could do all year round. So we don't gotta get into other stuff.
Yeah. And before we go any further, just because I promised him that I would do this, because he facilitated this whole thing, man, shout out to your marketing guy, JJ, man. What a pleasure working with that dude, man. He fucking set this whole thing up. He's the real hero here, man. Shout out to him, man. I told him I would shout him out on here, man. I got to be a man of my word, man. Good dude, man. Good people working for you, man. That's important, man. That's why you're the businessman. That's why you're a businessman, doing good business.
For sure. JJ was one of my friends. Huh? What is? Yeah.
I gotta say, at first I thought it was a joke, man, when you texted me that picture of him, because I thought, did he just text me a picture of himself and say to get in touch with his marketing manager? Dude does look a lot like you.
Nah, that's my friend over 10 years, man. And he great at what he does, man. And he gets, he just got into what he's doing right now, basically managing me, marketing managing me. And he's doing a hell of a job, man. Now he's in school going to learn more about it, so he could be just more knowledgeable about the market. And so he can just reach out to more, probably inner city stars that need to be marketed. You know what I'm saying? So JJ is definitely one of them guys that, the local 757 sports athletes should reach out to because he know what he's doing.
You got a good thing going there, man, and especially for a guy that's that young getting into it, man. It was so easy to work with him, dude, and facilitate this whole thing, man. He's already on the right track, man. So yeah, definitely shout out to him, man. So I got to ask, man, because I know you've called out everyone's name. I know in the ring the last time you said, I'm so sick of calling out people's names. People know who I want to fight. But because you happen to be in a position where you're in the 135-pound division, which I would say has to be the hottest division going right now, I just want to get just a brief summary. If I throw a couple names out in the division, not necessarily calling them out, but just kind of like a little synopsis on how you feel about them as fighters. Some of the young guys that are also coming up in the division. Is that okay?
What's up?
How about Raymond Murataya? We just saw him fight last week. Thoughts on him?
He's like a C+ fighter in my opinion. We talk about at the top level.
Okay.
At the level he at now and the opponents he fight now, he gonna look pretty great, right?
Yeah.
But if we talk about the top level, I think he's like really like a C+ at his best, B- type fighter.
Fair enough.
All right, so next, a guy that I like to personally watch just because of his body work and stuff is Mark Chamberlain. What do you think about Mark Chamberlain?
Honestly, I just got hip to Mark Chamberlain. He signed with the Turkish dude, and he's actually supposed to be fighting Baranchik. And honestly, I think he's gonna beat Baranchik. Yeah, I think he's a younger fighter. He got fire under him. Like he's hungry. He's a younger, hungry fighter, and he got power in both of his hands. And I also think he can fight. Like overall, I think he can fight. So I think I'm gonna be fighting Mark Chamberlain for the belt.
Yeah, I know.
That would be a hell of a fight, though. Me and Baranchik would have been a good fight, But I think I would have treated him like my last opponent, but I'll stop Baranchik. Yeah. And, but Mark Chamberlain, I think I would have to think more with him. And like I said, he got power in both hands. So
agreed.
That makes to be a great fight between us two.
Okay, now let's get KEYSHAWN's blood pressure turned up a little bit here. Now we'll bring up a couple of guys he's been a little salty with. Your real feelings on potentially a fight with Kid Austin. I know you guys have had it out. I saw you on there with Professor Knowledge. That was a great episode where you were talking down him and the old man. Classic shit, man. I love that shit, man. As I said before, I like a little irreverence, man. I remember when the sport, where people just didn't Twitter back and forth. They actually were about that, and they talked fucking shit. Real live shit, man. And I know you've been going back and forth with him for a while. Your real feelings on him, and if you think a fight with him will happen.
Honestly, I don't think a fight between me and him will happen because I just think that. First of all, his dad do all the talking, so I don't know if Kid Austin really want to fight me.
Yeah.
But some podcasts, some interviews, he say he does, but they just so like unpredictable.
Yeah.
That is like, what's the point of me even trying to build a fight like that?
Right.
We never know with them. They're weird.
Yeah.
And, they don't really have like a huge following in terms of like, these guys gonna be these guys. Kid Austin is gonna be world champ. Kid Austin is the next big thing. Like they don't have that push behind him. So after I beat somebody like him, it's gonna be like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? It's not gonna be heavily talked about. And at this point in my career, I want a real name that is gonna be heavily talked about after I win.
Yeah.
So I was gonna bring up Baranchik, but obviously you already kind of talked about him a little bit in your assessment of him. So I'm gonna just raise the bar one time, KEYSHAWN. What's up with Tank Davis?
Nothing really. He's just another fighter that I'm trying to fight.
That's the one we need.
We gonna. I feel like we're gonna get the fight. I honestly feel like we're gonna get the fight. He probably say he's never gonna fight me, but once I keep raising my marketability, once I keep putting on these great performances, the fans is gonna demand that fight.
It becomes inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he's gonna be demanded. Like, I think you gotta see this kid. This kid is really that good. You know, so right about now it's a little premature probably for him to take that fight. But like I said, as I keep putting on the performance I just put on last fight and just keep doing it, I become world champion, just keep doing it. It's gonna be inevitable that we fight for sure.
I think, and I'm not even just saying this because you on the show, dude. We talked about this a lot. I think you're one of the only guys around that weight that could beat him.
One of very few. Yeah.
Yeah, because like stylistically, for sure, I understand what you're saying, but also like our temperament, we
Yeah.
both don't give a fuck in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got the
And
dog.
the difference between me and him is he's 29, 30 and 0, and I'm 25, 11 and 0. So like we see everything that he can do. Y'all didn't see the best of KEYSHAWN Davis yet, and that's like that. To me, that's the scariest part because I know I still got a lot more in my tank.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And now we've had Bomac on the show, and Bomac, obviously when we had him on, there was a lot of talk about Crawford at the time, but your name certainly did come up though, man. And yeah, I kind of get that feeling off of him too, man, that like, like he's bringing more and more and more out of you, and we're just really starting to crack the surface on everything that you can do.
Right. Nah, for sure. Like ever since me and my brothers got with Bomac, Keon Davis, Kelvin Davis, Keon Davis out in Germany right now, training at the Olympic camp. Kelvin Davis just put on ESPN with me one of his best performances.
Looked great.
And,
great.
Ever since we got with BNB, we've been getting better for sure. And you can just go back and look at my fights and just tell fight by fight like that I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And, now that I'm on this level, it's not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep getting better because that's the best team in the game for real. They can adjust to any type style, to any type personality. They make you feel at home. They make you feel comfortable, as well as Terrence Crawford being there. So we watching literally the best do it.
Yeah,
train and go fight while he raising all his kids. You know what I mean? So
and by the way, man, shout out
perspective.
And by the way, shout out to fucking Bud, man, because he really is a dog. He wants that Canelo fight, man. I saw a video of him today in there working with Andre Ward. He's taking this shit seriously, man. He's working with big dudes, man, getting ready, man.
Nah, for sure. He's definitely taking it serious.
Yeah. I think fucking Canelo, man, is almost getting backed into a corner where he has to take that fight. There's a lot of pressure to want to see that fight, man.
I think they're gonna fight.
Now, what about another big one, man? Your boy Shakur, man, in Tank. That seems like one that's really starting to percolate quite a bit, too. And one thing that pisses me off, and I'm starting to really smell the Kool-Aid now on Shakur, I hate when people say, it's always either a fight is a masterclass or the person is running. And I don't understand, like, the difference between that. I think what Shakur does is brilliant in there. And it made me realize it more when I see these older guys that step away from the sport that unfortunately aren't in the best circumstances mentally. And I think people judge a great fighter by getting in there and getting their brains bashed in. But at the end of the day, it really is the art of hitting and not getting hit. What Shakur does, the whole swimming without getting wet, is pretty amazing.
There's a lot of facts. I can't agree with you more.
It really is, man. It really is. And maybe early on in his career, I ignorantly thought that a little bit too. Like, man, I would like to see this guy engage more. Although he did look like he was mixing up a little more in his last fight, though, man. But, why jump in there and take that damage if you don't have to, and you could still pull off victories?
Right, and easy. Every time you fight and go in there and fight is easy, whether it's a step up or not. So, like, why would you change that up?
How come the WBA is so fucking lost? They're the only ones that don't have you ranked. What's wrong with them? I don't get it.
I don't even keep up with that shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know.
Man, the Ring's got you ranked number 7, and all the rest of them have you ranked at number 3, man. In the WBA, not even in the top 15.
So who's top 3 in WBA?
No. You're number 3 in the WBO, the IBF, and the WBC. I mean, I guess all the champions would be ahead of you. Probably Baranchenko, who has a belt, Shakur, the WBC champion. I mean, but you're right there, though. So
I'm saying, what I was trying to say is who's the top 3 in the WBA? Who's the top 3?
Oh, my God. All right, Benji's ask him a question while I Google it for our guy here.
Phone and get that information.
yeah. Hey, if KEYSHAWN's asking, I'm delivering the goods.
Nah, actually, I got something good for you because we were talking about this a little bit before we was gonna do the interview because this is something that we talked about a lot, and we had Nahir Albright on the show, and he was like trying to kind of like say that, oh, you was gonna have to see him again over that or whatever, and I don't know, like it's just something. I smoked a lot of weed, man.
Guilty.
Like, I don't see that as a performance-enhancing drug. If I'm smoking weed, I don't want to fight nobody.
I've never wanted to beat up anybody under the influence of weed. Yeah, I've never. I wouldn't consider. I think a no contest for that was absolute bullshit. Mike Tyson just fought Roy Jones. I know it wasn't the same thing, man, but he admittedly said he went in there blazed up. I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Although Nahir Albright was on our show, though, and he did say somewhere down the road you have to see him again. But that's a step backwards, though, at this point in your career. You were just kind of mentioning that upwards and onwards, right?
Right.
Yeah, ain't nobody even thinking about him.
Nobody's thinking about him. Yeah.
I'm more really curious about your assessment of the whole weed thing in general, man. It just really didn't make sense to me at all.
I mean, everybody felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the sport of boxing. Look at Oceanique Foster getting robbed. The same weekend I fought. Look
Horrible.
at Raymond Moritalia and Tevin Farmer. They took a point away from Tevin Farmer for what? You know what I'm saying? It's just stuff that's unexplainable in boxing that we all see and we just gotta go through.
Right.
And by the way, to answer your question, obviously Tank is the WBA champion. William Zepeda, ranked number 1. Kid Austin, number 2. And Chan Thonson, who we have had on the show, love Chan, but he's ranked number 3, though. Don't quite think, with all due respect to Chan, and we've had him and Trevor both on here, man. No disrespect to him, man, but I don't know that those 3 guys belong anywhere ranked above you in any universe.
Oh, you saying Tank got the belt, right?
Yeah, Tank's got the belt, and then William Zepeda
Zepeda is
WBA
number
has
1.
William Zepeda ranked 1, Floyd Schofield ranked 2, and Chan
That's
Thonson
right
ranked
there.
3.
That don't even make sense.
No, yeah.
How you guys Zepeda then Kid Austin? What?
I know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Obviously, the WBA must either be smoking some weed themselves, or they must be taking bribes. I don't know, man. Kid Schofield's dad must be, I don't know, doling out some money or something. I don't know, man. I mean, you can buy your way into rankings, so I've heard. Boxing can be a dirty business, so I mean. That doesn't make sense to me, though, Keyshawn. One thing I love about you, though, man, is I think you're something that the sport really needs. Outside of the irreverence that I talked about, you got the infectious smile, you got the skill set, you got the power, you got the speed. You're in the ring professing your love to your mama. That's always going to win over fans. That's huge right there, man. You're what the sport needs, though, man, only just because, as you always say, you love to fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For sure. Like that last fight, that's all that was a fight. Like
fight.
We wasn't in there boxing.
Yeah.
Only thing we won't do was talking shit. We was not talking shit because he'll speak English, I'll speak Spanish. But I bet if we understood each other, we probably were there talking as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Body language wise, you guys understood each other. And you hit him with a lot of hard, clean shots, too. I mean, shout out to Miguel Meduena for, if nothing else, at least having a pretty damn good chin.
Nah, he can punch.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that
he
was hitting you pretty good, too, then.
No, you seen no, he wasn't hitting me. I got hit, and when I got hit, I felt them punches.
Yeah.
Bro could punch. Like, think about it like this. You can punch somebody, and then you can really land it.
Right.
The punches that he really tried to land, I did not let him land them shit because I was already feeling the ones that was slipping through.
Right.
Damn, that shit was decent.
That's power.
Okay. You know what I mean? So the ones he was really, the knockout punches, I was not blocking those. I was getting out the way of that.
Yeah.
So something else that we always ask on this show to every single person we talk to is about these Jake Paul gimmick fights. What's your assessment of all that, like, for the sport?
I mean, it ain't really hurting the sport. I mean, it ain't doing it no better. It just he created his own lane for him to make some money. It ain't hurting it. It ain't really helping it. At first, it was one point in time where it was actually helping, but now it kind of died down, and he just got his own lane. He just still trying to create smart big fights in. But I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Now,
it's not hurting the sport. So
right, it is bringing eyes to it. It's bringing eyes
to him.
Yeah,
in his lane. The only thing I can say is when he put real boxers on his undercard. You know what I mean? Now you got a lot of casual fans watching that boxer, that real boxer. The casual probably take into that real boxer. But outside of that, he's not really, doing too much to help or hurt the sport.
Thank God he's got the boxers on there. It does lend some credibility to the cards, at least a little bit. Now, when you're growing up and you're getting into boxing, when we're young, we all have those sports idols. Did you look at guys in the sport when you were growing up and have those boxing heroes? Who were those guys for you?
It's funny because I started boxing when I was 9 years old, and I knew Pacquiao before I knew Floyd.
Yeah,
like, I wasn't one of those fighters that got into boxing and was watching boxing immediately like, damn, this shit's good. I literally was just doing it for a sport, for recreation, just because I wanted to box. I didn't start watching boxing till I was like 13 years old. So that's like 4 years in boxing. I already won me a couple of belts, amateur, and just boxing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I didn't have a idol because I didn't care to have one. But as I, got a little older, 14, 15, started getting a little serious for you, Muhammad Ali was the first one.
I love that answer, man, because
Floyd.
that just shows you're a young guy going back and doing your homework, though. Definitely.
Oh yeah. So Muhammad Ali was definitely the first one. Second one, Floyd, and then the third one, Sweet Pea.
And I can see the Muhammad Ali correlation, man, because Muhammad Ali, man, gets a lot of love on this show when we ask that question. Obviously for what he did in the ring, but for how how attached to the community and how he was outside of the ring, the man he was outside of the ring, which you could see a lot of that in you. You're obviously always representing your community, doing big things for your community, man. So I can see that correlation, man, because you really are putting 757 on the map, man. Everything you do, everything you post, man, you're very pro community.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, man.
I love that, man.
And when I was coming up in the city, y'all remember back in the day in the city, let's just say like 2016, 2015, boxing was no such thing as boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Boxing was nothing. It wasn't dead. It just was nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So me boxing and winning national championships and going back to high school and stuff like that, my high school friends realizing it, but the city, they don't really understand what's going on. They just try, KEYSHAWN, when you going to the Olympics? When you going to the Olympics? They're not understanding that all these national jumps I'm winning right now mean something too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I remember just being in that position like, when I really show the city who I am and they really start taking boxing serious, I'm going to come back and I'm going to keep showing my face and I'm going to get even more kids, more masses to take into boxing because a lot of these other sports you got to go to school for.
Right.
That's just number one. And a lot of these kids, they're like, man, F that, man. They ain't doing good in school.
Right.
They probably troublemakers or this, that, third. So they're like, man, F that. I ain't doing that no more. Then they probably fall into the streets. I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So if you got a sport that you got to go to school for, you can make a real career out of it. And you don't got to be a dummy. You can still be smart. I'm going to show them that this is for real. This is not just a game. You know what I mean? And now the city is actually starting to realize that. And the next big thing for Davis Brothers, the DB3 for us to do is get our own gym. After we get our own gym, we're gonna have the city-owned smash.
Yeah.
Period.
That's huge. That's huge, man. I love the aspirations. I love the dreams, man. And I see it all coming together for you guys. Now, now to dig into the personal a little bit more, man. If KEYSHAWN Davis has to fight the best round of his life, the best 3 minutes of his life, and he's got one song in his ear, what's the go-to song? Or artist. It could be an artist if you can't narrow it down to a song, man. But who's the go-to guy that gets you pumped up?
It used to be even a young boy, but he fell off.
Yeah. See, this is the part where I'll probably step aside, and my son will know exactly who you're talking about, and my 51-year-old ass won't have a clue who you're going to say. But
I'll know.
He'll know. He's a hip hop head. He'll know.
Boss Man D-Lo. That man going crazy right now. He's going crazy right now.
Sit here. I'll be the one sitting here with the clueless look on my face right now.
Yo, I turned that Mr. Pot Scraper up.
You feel me? You feel me? Sports Center. I almost walked out the Sports Center.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so that's the artist. And, full disclosure, man, we have had young guys go old school on here. We had Shushu Carrington on, and he took it all the way back to 50 Cent to get rich or die trying, man. So, to each his own, man. Yeah, he took it back to an era that I actually kind of remember a little bit. Now,
no.
Go ahead.
Because we digging into the meat and potatoes right here. So with that being said, what's the go-to food you gotta have after a big win?
Ooh.
Yeah, you've already made way in. The fight's in the books, man, and now you can pig out, man.
Right now, I'm on that crab boil, crab legs and stuff.
Ooh.
Crab legs.
Okay.
Oh, crab boil. Y'all know boil, babe. Come on now.
Yeah. That's a good choice, man. You know what I mean?
Also, fried chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Like real live though. Like, give me some good crispy fried chicken. I'm a lot.
Now, is there any places out there, man, like, fast food chains, man, and can you compare the two? If you have to put Popeyes against KFC, is there a clear-cut winner there for you?
Popeyes
all day? Okay.
All day.
Yeah, KFC.
You compare KFC to Church's Chicken. That's how you do that.
Yeah, KFC has fallen off. I noticed KFC's gotten a little sketchy, man. Last couple times I've been to KFC. And so, so you just fought here in July. Okay.
Feather and fin.
See, that's going to be something. Feather and fin.
Yeah.
See, that's something we're not going to have in upstate New York, man.
All that shit.
Oh, that's y'all from upstate?
Yeah, we're in upstate New York, man. We're about 20 minutes away from the Boxing Hall of Fame, man.
So why you say why y'all 757 off the couch, right?
Off the Couch Boxing is the name of our podcast. Yeah, I mean, we're not from the 757. I'm just shouting out the 757 because you're 757.
Now I know y'all name off the couch. I don't know why I thought it was 757 off the couch. Damn, I'm thinking the whole time y'all from the area, but all right, bet.
Oh, KEYSHAWN, man, I'm sorry, man, to disappoint you, man. Unfortunately, man, we're not 757, but I guess we can shout out the 315. We are up in the 315 upstate New York, man. So I mean,
y'all don't got no accent though.
Really?
I don't hear no New York accent. I got family living in New York. I literally just came from New York, chilling with my family.
Yeah, but
y'all don't got no New York accent. I don't hear it.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing,
man. Shout out Brooklyn. Shout out the chopped cheese.
Yeah,
nah, facts.
Now, here's the thing about New York, though. A lot of people, the minute we say we're from New York, they instantly ask which borough. They think in the city. It's like there's New York City, and then there's everything else seems to be upstate. You know what I mean? Like, like we're nowhere near like Brooklyn or like what you would think of New York, the Bronx. Like we're like 4 hours from all of that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I feel you.
We're Benny the Butcher fam.
Yeah. We're closer to Buffalo, man. We're Griselda.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you.
And so what's the plan going forward now? You just have a fight in July, man. Is the game plan, how much more fighting do we got to do in 2024? One more time, two more times?
We got one more.
We're going to get one more in?
Yeah, we get one more in.
Is there an opponent in mind, or is that still down the road?
I'm trying to make something happen. I'm calling out the whole boxing world again on social media.
I know you are. I know.
Somebody go get that goddamn ring. Somebody go get that ring.
Somebody has to.
I call out Ray Mortai. I call out Frank Martin. I'm still on TOS. Yeah. Austin doing a little tweeting back and forth, but never know with him,
Yeah. Now, I feel like the thing.
I'd fight Kid Austin, though. I really would fight him. I would fight him in and off this year, for sure. In and off this year, and then next year, my world title. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
I was nothing wrong with that.
That's what I wanted to say is 2025. You thinking about getting that world title?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, Baranchik, I'm going for the WBO, just period.
Yeah.
Baranchik about to fight Mark Chamberlain. I already knew that, right? The day Baranchik won, the next day they told me that fight was going to happen. So I'm like, okay, boom. After that, then I'm next in line. You feel what I'm saying? So Mark Chamberlain's going to beat him.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to fight Mark.
That's the fight right there. That's the fight right there. Yeah.
And I think Mark Chamberlain probably stopped Baranchik. It's going to be an even bigger fight for me.
Yeah. Now, obviously, and you alluded to it earlier in the interview. We just saw that awful decision in the Oshaki Foster fight. When you're in there, is it just business as usual for you, or when you see these type of decisions in the back of your mind, do you press yourself a little more to get knockouts because we are still seeing awful decisions? Obviously, you don't get paid overtime. We've heard that on here a lot. Everybody wants to knock the guy out, but is there added pressure now because boxing is still giving us a lot of shit decisions?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really understand when people say getting paid for overtime. That don't make sense to me because
I know, but we do hear a lot of it, don't we?
If you sign up for a 10-round fight or you sign up for a 12-round fight, and if you go all rounds, that's not overtime. That's just what you signed up for.
Right.
So I never understood that.
Good point.
But okay, but to answer your question, no, I don't be tripping off no knockouts. Y'all love that last fight I just did, right?
Loved it.
Yeah. How many rounds it went?
All of them. Loved it.
Yeah. And you love every single round of it, right?
All of it. Yeah.
And y'all gonna make sure y'all watch that next fight of mine.
No doubt. No, I've watched them all so far. We've been tapped in since day one. Tapped in.
You feel me? So that goes for a lot of the majority, the masses that just see my last fight. That goes for basically everybody. You feel what I'm saying? And I always said, whether I get a knockout or not, y'all gonna love to see me perform. And I just lived up to that.
Yeah.
That's right. Amen.
Now, what about weight changes? Like, what do you feel like your ceiling is? Do you feel like you'll seek titles in other divisions? And where do you think your limit is? Obviously, you're going to conquer 135. I believe that at some point. You know what I mean? Where will you go from there? And where does it end for KEYSHAWN Davis, size-wise?
I think size-wise, I can stop at 154. Okay. I probably could push it to 160 though. Honestly. Okay. I think I really could, but
enough fried chicken, you could get there, man. I can see it happening, man.
guaranteed 154 for sure.
Yeah. And
the biggest question of the night, man, is the big four, man, the Mount Rushmore of boxers.
KEYSHAWN's Mount Rushmore. Your all-time greatest four boxers.
Oh, my all-time greatest four. Your
Mount Rushmore. KEYSHAWN Davis's Mount Rushmore.
Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah, love that pick.
And my baby makes an appearance in the episode.
Yeah, that's all right.
Pernell Whitaker. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, and KEYSHAWN Davis.
Oh, I like that. That's why right there, man, he's what boxing needs, man. You know what I mean? Calling out his own fucking name, man, knowing he's going to be a future great. I don't fucking doubt it for a friggin' second, man. Not for a second, man. I've been telling people since day one, man, this kid's the future of boxing. I like when you're in the middle of that ring talking shit. One thing that I found very interesting at that one press conference, though, you really, man to man, I love what you did there when Teofimo is reading that book and you're letting him know, man, exactly how you felt man to man. I like that. And you know what? Teo wouldn't admit this in a million years, man, but I feel like dude was a little shook.
Bro, the whole boxing world know this man scared of me.
Yeah, I believe
literally,
it, man.
Bro. Like,
yeah.
I understand why he's scared of me. I'm not even gonna say I don't know why. I understand why he's scared of me, bro. But like, come on, bro. Like, fight me. It's a big fight. Like,
it's a huge
fears. Like, they're like,
it's a huge fight.
You fought Lomachenko with nobody wanted to fight Lomachenko, and he was the boogeyman. Like, I'm not a boogeyman. I'm a little dude compared to you. You know what I mean?
I still think Lomachenko beat himself in that fight by just not doing anything.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And I'm glad you brought Lomachenko up, because even though he's gotten a little long in the tooth, man, he's still a player in that division, though, man. But nobody's giving him a leg to stand on against Tank. Although, and it's a polarizing decision, that Haney fight was very tight. He did fight a great fight, and then it was vintage Loma against Kambosos. Does he have enough left to even make this a competitive fight against Tank, or are we going to see him knocked into retirement here?
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, you got to look at, Tank. How Tank come out look about Rolly and Tank. That was competitive until he got knocked out. Like, Tank knocked shit out. That's just point blank period. He knocked it out. Yeah. But like every one of his fights that before they got knocked out, it's competitive. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be like, Lomachenko's going to get blown out of the water.
Right.
He got too much skill for that. And then he just stopped Kambosos, so we still see he got the fire in him.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have some fire in you to go in there and stop somebody.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. And Tank will give away rounds. I mean, Tank has given away rounds early in fights too, you know what I mean? Because he knows he's going to get you eventually,
Right.
He will give away rounds.
And if Tank go in there and knock Lomachenko out early, bro, that's going to be a surprise for everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Like, anybody going to expect that, bro. It's going to be like, damn, Tank finally started off fast. He's knocked down. That nigga got better, or just whatever. You know what I'm saying? So niggas will be lying. They'll be like, yo, he just going to go in there and crush Lomachenko. Like, nah.
Now, obviously, man, like you got so much exuberance and passion for the sport. I see that you also are a fan of it. When you look around right now at the sport, and I know a lot of these guys are your contemporaries, they're potentially your competition. But who do you sit back and look at from a fan standpoint and really enjoy watching? I mean, obviously, I know that Shakur, is your guy or whatever, but and Terrence and a lot of your inner circle there. But are there guys that you really enjoy like watching their work and tune in when they're fighting?
I can say I like watching Tank fight.
Yeah.
Skillfully.
Yeah.
Canelo, Terrence, Shakur, my brother Kelvin.
Yeah.
I like watching Isaac Cruz fight.
Yeah.
I also like watching Jose Venezuela fight. I mean Rayo Venezuela.
Yeah.
Yes, dude, he got cheated against Colbert in that first one and then knocked him stupid in that second one.
Yeah. And I guess, why do we not bring up Pitbull at 135? Is that an enticing fight to you on any level, a Pitbull fight?
Well, he at 140, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he kind of goes back and forth between, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd go up and fight him. You know what I'm saying? I'd go up and fight him, but at this point in my career, just give me a world title at 35, and then I can start really doing what I want. You know what I mean? Like, let me become a world champion, and then we can start skipping weight classes and going back down and just doing all the extra shit.
You brought up Canelo, and I'm just curious to ask you about this. Do you feel like he's kind of like throwing away an opportunity when he's not fighting Benavidez, or do you feel like he's ducking them?
I mean, when you get them contracts and you get them numbers put on the table to you, only he can answer that question.
Right. Do you think it hurts his legacy though? Like, will he regret it? Like, you have that fighter's mentality, you know what I mean? Like if you don't fight a guy and then you're retired, and obviously he stamped his own ticket, he's a Hall of Famer, he can do what he wants or whatever. But do you think there'll ever be any regret where he'll look back and say, "God damn, I'm going to be asked about that fight for the rest of my life"?
No.
No,
I really feel like Canelo.
Why even give a shit, right?
Canelo. I see, and shout out to Jose Benavidez. I fuck with you, bro. Like, you was a real fighter, my nigga.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But in terms of Canelo, he know who he is. He know who he is. He's confident in himself, and he have a whole family to look after. Not only that, he's on the tail end of his career.
Right.
And people on the tail end of his career, they want to retire talking straight. They want to retire with their brains in their head still. Like, they not really tripping off what the fans gotta say and who's the next fighter that's trying to fight him. He been through that 10 plus years. He been through that 15 years already.
Yeah.
On his 16th year, you think he really care about another guy saying that he can knock him out? Like, nah, man. At this point, this man is 32 years young.
Yeah.
Making $40 million a fight. Bro, it's only 32 years old. He's young.
I know. That's crazy.
I just see he just donated 70 million to something. He's donating 70 million.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he care about just one fighter?
Well, if anybody needs a donation, you can make checks payable to Off the Couch Boxing Podcast. We can always use more equipment and all that kind of stuff. You know, we're starting from the ground up too, KEYSHAWN. You know, hopefully, man, what our platform prides themselves on, you know, we've done 130 some odd episodes. We've had a lot of the legends from the sport, but what we really get really excited about is having guys that are on the come up, man. Because you know, I feel like when I look at you, I am looking at the next Floyd Mayweather or somebody, you know, of that status. You're obviously, you know, your own man or whatever, but you know, 10, 12, 15 years down the road, man, you know, you're going to be that guy. I feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Bro. Yeah.
And then you're going to come chop it up with Off the Couch Boxing.
Yeah.
Nah, I am. I like this energy because you're right. I am. For sure.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I mean,
and keep it real. Like, I didn't even know y'all was a podcast, people, bro. Like, when y'all was hitting me up in the messenger, bro, I didn't know, my nigga. Like, I really have, like, the last time I see him, I'm like, oh, these niggas podcast. Oh, I'm gonna reach out to them. I'm gonna see what's up with it, type shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm glad I did, bro. Cause y'all got some good energy. This is a good podcast. I fuck with y'all, bro. No cap.
And I got to the point where I thought, geez, man, you know, am I pushing KEYSHAWN too much, man? But when you're when you're trying to run down one of your favorite fighters, though, man, it's hard, man, because I see you on there. I see the green dot next to your name, and I say, okay, he's fucking on there. I'm gonna take another goddamn shot at it. And then finally, man, finally you broke through. And thank God I got to know JJ and befriend him on there, because he said, you're more of a guy who posts but doesn't really hang out on there and really converse a lot. You know what I mean? You're kind of like a poster and then kind of log off, get your shit out there, and you know what I mean. So it's good that I've got.
But they telling me now I gotta do more on social media. So,
well,
God damn.
I don't know. I feel like it is that era, and it's kind of unfortunate though, man. But it does help the profile a little bit, though. It seems,
Nah, a lot bit. I understand. So
I mean, getting your face out there and getting your name out there, it kind of seems important. Plus, you're a guy with a lot of personality, man. So I could see people wanting to really dig in and get to know you and talk to you.
Yeah, but I'm a person that like, even in high school, like, I played the cut, I played the background. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a person that really enjoy the spotlight.
Right.
All the time. Like, I can have a moment where I'm enjoying it, but like literally like all the time, that shit becomes annoying to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just gotta learn how to deal with it.
And what do you feel like life will be like for you? I know it's far on down the road for you, but do you feel like after your fighting career is over, you'll always keep a foot in boxing? Like, are you interested in like promoting or training fighters, or do you feel like when you walk away from the sport, you'll make a clean break?
Nah, for sure. I'm like we were saying before, I love being a part of my community. So I'm gonna always just help my community promoting to keep out time. Then I retire. I'm envisioning that we gonna have national champions. We're gonna have from the city. We having guys that's going to the Olympics. We're gonna have professional boxers. So I'm gonna always be a part of my city, the city part. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's promoting, whether it's managing them. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's just guiding them and putting them in the right position. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna be in public eye, but I'm still gonna be a part of boxing.
I envision that I'm gonna be dapping you up when you get your plaque in Canastota.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to be in Canastota one day. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that, man. So 2025 feels like it's going to be a big year, man. That's going to be, and you know what? We've had so many guys come on here and tell us 2025 is going to be their year for a title. 2025 is shaping up to be exciting.
Guys, too. A lot of guys that
Who
really
at 135? Who said that?
Not necessarily at 135, but we've had,
okay.
you know, we had Shoe Carrington on. You know, I do believe it'll be a big year for him. Malik Montgomery. Who else has told us they're going to win titles?
Alex Vargas.
Alex Vargas. Yeah, a lot of guys have come on here and said 2025 is going to be a big year for them, man.
Vargas? What Vargas?
Alex
Vargas.
Alex.
Yeah.
Vargas.
I don't think he fights it your way. Yeah, I think he's safe. He's safe from the
crazy.
Yeah, he's safe from the KEYSHAWN Fury, man, for sure. and yeah, so yeah, I love the sentiment though, man, like about your community, man. Like when did you really start to get really attached to the community and get this sense of community? Have you always had it since you were young?
Yeah, I can say that. I always wanted to be I always wanted to show the city another route. Everybody to do the traditional route. You know, football, basketball gonna take you out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just want to show everybody, like, bro, boxing is a real thing. Like I was like, it was just one person I was talking to, and she was like, I didn't even know boxing was a real thing. Like, I didn't know. I just knew Javante. You know, I didn't know like you know, prospects and contenders, and this is a real thing. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell do you mean by that? Like, I was just so baffled. Like, what?
Yeah.
So like, I want to let my city know, like, bro, like this can be the number one sport in our city to really bring kids out and just boxing. You really, as a fighter, you can really know that person's personality when they get in the ring or before they even get in the ring. Like you can figure out who you are. As a coach, you can see who that kid really is before they even get in the ring or why they're in the ring. Like boxing shows the full personality of a person. And that's one thing I love about boxing. Like the number one thing I love about boxing, you cannot hide your personality in this sport. It's going to show. Like, you can be this real quiet person and he shadow boxing and all that, but when he get in the ring, he letting it all out. It's like, oh, this boy got another side to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you quiet, but you really crazy, nigga. You know what I mean? So it's like, I love boxing that it really shows your full personality. You can't hide behind 11 players on the field or, you know, 4 players on the court. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's nobody to bail you out.
Sense though too, because like even around us, like the big cities like Syracuse, man, it's either like you play basketball or like we had Tusi, you know, Tusi is from Syracuse. So like it's either like that you rapping or you're gonna play basketball or you gonna be in the streets.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's same thing for us in Norfolk. Like football, basketball are rapping for sure. Like for sure.
Yeah.
And then rap the music in our lane right now is we still waiting for that one person, like DB3, for that one person to put boxing onto the city. We still wait for that one rapper to bring back to our city, but we don't got that yet. Like rapping kind of like slow right now.
Yeah. Although we can still shout out, like I did at the beginning, we can still shout out new Louis Vuitton brand ambassador Pusha T is from the Virginia area.
Nah, for sure. I'm talking about this generation though. Like you got Pharrell, you got Pusha T, you got Missy Elliott. Like, we got artists that came out. You know what I'm saying? But this generation, our generation nowadays, we trying to rebrand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it really ain't New York City or Atlanta, ain't nobody really coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
Getting to be a hot scene with like Hot Boy and Kodak and those guys, but like the big markets though is Atlanta and the city.
And I feel like KEYSHAWN just told me that I was an old head without telling me I was an old head, man, because he started pointing out that I didn't know anybody from this generation, which I don't. And I got to tell you, KEYSHAWN, full disclosure, there was a point in time early in your career, and I don't know if Benji's will be man enough to own up to this, but we were second guessing the nickname for a little while. Now, just hear me out, KEYSHAWN. For a while, we really were infatuated with how KEYSHAWN Big Business Davis sounded, but you know, I think you know better, and I'm not going to second guess the businessman. You know what I mean? But just try it on for size.
I was hot on Big Business though. I was.
You really were. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is now, KEYSHAWN, and we're certainly not going to second guess him, man. But we used to say it out loud to ourselves and say, KEYSHAWN, big business Davis, and we liked it.
Yeah.
That don't sound bad.
was
I never thought about it, but that don't really sound bad. You know what I mean?
No. But I'm not going to second guess the businessman because I mean, you are out there. You are out there handling business. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm not second guessing it. I'm not second guessing it at all, man. He's doing everything right now, man. 11-0, 7 knockouts, man. Sky's the fucking limit, man. Right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and of course, we'd like to announce that that recently, me and Benji's are also now weed free. We stopped ourselves.
Why? What made y'all stop?
We used to come on this podcast high and do every episode pretty much. Well, I got pneumonia back in May, and I spent 3 or 4 weeks just purging and coughing up so much shit that my wife was like, and like me and my wife are both nurses, so my wife was like, there's other ways to take it nowadays if you want to keep taking it. There's edibles, there's other stuff. Maybe it's time to give the smoking a rest. Maybe this is a sign,
Yeah,
man,
for sure.
I was smoking 5 backwood spliffs a day. And I got to that point, man, where I was like, this shit really not doing nothing for me no more. Like, and I got my kids growing up, like it's just not working no more, man.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody hit that wall, like, man, this shit getting old. It's time for change.
Yeah. I think that's what happened for us. Yeah.
Unless I'm gonna start smoking crack, I might as well get this shit up.
We're not gonna do that. Yeah. I'm gonna say that we interviewed the great Paul the Punisher Williams, one of the great middleweights of all time, man. And he was blazing.
I used to watch him.
Yeah, and he was blazing a blunt during our interview the other night, and it did look good. I would have liked to have blazed with the champ, man. It almost made me want to go back, man. He was, I mean, the whole interview, he was just in a cloud of smoke, but it was beautiful, though. Something about it was very beautiful, though.
Something about it was very beautiful.
It's just Paul Williams sitting in his car, just silhouetted in smoke. I mean, there's something very artistic about it, I mean, but that was a big deal for us because that was Benji's introduction to boxing. That was his first favorite boxer. So that one was special to us. Yeah, that one was special.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Paul Williams was definitely one of the first people I watched. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I knew Pacquiao, YouTube was out back in the day, so I was YouTubing Pacquiao. But Paul Williams, I think, was actually the first fighter I seen on TV. Yeah,
and he was a problem, man. 147, but 6'2", man. Rangy, long reach, man. Yeah, he was actually, he was training for a fight with Canelo in 2012 when he had that accident.
A word.
But he had a crazy resume already by the age of 30, though. I mean, I was reading off the list of names. His resume already is a Hall of Fame career, man. I mean, he was 41-2. He avenged both those losses, man. But the names that are on his resume, and he was really just digging in and getting started, too. He still had all those 147-pounders that he didn't even get to. The Zab Judas, the Floyds, the Canelos, all those guys, man. I mean,
Floyd was not finna fight him. Floyd was not finna fight him.
No, Floyd was ducking him, dude. Floyd was ducking him. I don't want to say that. I gotta get to the point where I step back and appreciate Floyd. I spent so many years buying his pay-per-views, hoping to watch him lose.
He retired.
You was one of them, huh?
I was a hater, not a congratulator. I was a hater.
Why you ain't like him?
You know what? I can't really put a finger on it, but every time I bought a pay-per-view, me and Benji would say the same thing. Oh, this is the night we're going to see him get beat. Ricky Hatton's got his number. Oscar's got his number. Victor Diaz is going to get him tonight. Oh, this is the night he goes down right here. Yeah.
Hey, the only fight I was scared for him when I was watching, because y'all a little bit older than me, but the only fight I was really scared was the Madonna one.
Yeah.
I
was
like, man.
Got his tooth on a necklace, right?
Say it again.
Doesn't Maidana still claim he's got his Floyd's tooth on a necklace or something?
God damn.
Yeah, he knocked out one of his teeth and made a necklace out of it. Of course, that's alleged. I mean, we don't want we want to put a disclaimer out, so all of a sudden we're not getting like a cease and desist on this whole episode. Allegedly, he's got one of the guy's teeth hanging around his neck, man.
Damn, I pray that never happened to me, man.
I don't think it's good. I don't think anybody's gonna lay a glove on you like that, man. At least not before you get to them first. I mean, I don't see it happening, man.
Hey, that's Floyd Mayweather, man. One of the best defensive fighters in the world, man.
I know. Anybody can get caught, I suppose, man. But I mean,
I don't think it's real, man. I think Maidana's playing.
Yeah.
Probably.
And if you watch the video, something weird did fly out of his mouth, man. But who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Like, who really knows? You know what I mean?
Right.
By the way, man, I can't make out that shirt. Who's on that shirt?
Himself.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. I got, I've had 3 eye surgeries. I can't fucking see that, man. That's beautiful, man.
Himself.
Nice. Nice.
You know you up when you wearing yourself on a t-shirt.
You
right?
gotta have that kind of confidence. That's the kind of confidence you got to exude. Like we had James Toney on here, man, and he lost, I think, 9 or 10 fights. But if you ask him, he didn't lose fucking any of them. That's the kind of confidence you got to have right there, man.
Nah,
to hear
for
him
sure.
tell it, man, none of those guys could really beat him.
Nah, for sure. James Toney was crazy. He was crazy.
Yeah.
For sure. He was crazy.
Hey, listen, KEYSHAWN, I just got one request, man. You know, this was a big one for us, man. Please really stay in contact. I'm friends now with JJ on Facebook. We got to have you back on, man, periodically, man. We would love to.
That's why I gave y'all JJ contact so we can stay in contact. You know what I mean? I'm a forgetful person. I just be moving around so much. So
JJ did say that
real quick, but I made sure that, you know, if you in contact with him, you locked in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You don't know what a blessing this was to have you on here, man. This was a real treat for us, man. We appreciate it, man. Best of luck going forward, man. We're always watching, man. We've been tapped in since day one.
For sure. No, I appreciate y'all. This was lit, man. I'll be excited to do it again. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely, man. That's what we like to do, man. We like to bring people on here and really dig in and ask questions that you don't hear all the time. You know what I mean? The food shit, the music shit. We like to mix it up, take it all over the place, you know, all over the board.
For sure. Keep doing what y'all doing. For sure.
Yeah. We appreciate you, man. You're helping us grow too, man. When I put the episode up, I'll send you and JJ the link. Share it around for us, man, please.
No, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Appreciate you, KEYSHAWN, man. Thanks so much for doing this, man. It's been a pleasure, man. Really.
Much love, bro.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes,
much
sir.
love, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right.
There he goes, folks. Said our podcast was lit. That's a raving endorsement, I'd say, right there.
Yep.
And damn near went what? Almost an hour with the gentleman.
He said, and I quote, "I fucked with y'all, no cap."
Yeah, and that's why I put you in touch with JJ, man. So we're locked in. That means a lot, though, man. Real talk, man. When he watches this back, I want him to know that does mean a lot, man, because our podcast is growing. We're coming up. We're scratching and clawing. He's scratching and clawing, man. I mean, we're kind of we're in two separate worlds. Well, we're both in the boxing world. You know, he's an active participant. We're in the media section of it, but we're both vying for, you know, acclaim, notoriety. You know what I mean? Having people, as you said, fuck with us.
The next big thing.
He really is, man. He really is. And full disclosure, I had to let him know that we liked big business. I didn't think maybe he was going to change on a dime and say, wow, I've had an epiphany here.
He did like it, though.
He did like it. He did like it, yeah. So shout out to KEYSHAWN for at least not running down our name. You know what I mean? But, you know, I mean, I've said it many times out loud, and I'm not ashamed to embarrass that, man. Like when he comes to the ring, you know, I mean, just to say, just to hear how it would sound hearing Mark Chinook or Michael Buffer on a bigger stage, you know what I mean? But, you know, I got to say, man, first and foremost, man, you know, let me run down, you know, and I try not to put my grandpa glasses on throughout the whole episode because I didn't want to, you know, come off as the old fogey in the interview, even though I still was because I didn't know any current rap music or, you know, I'm still yelling
Boss Man D-Lo.
I'm still yelling Pusha T like a fucking insane old guy, man. So, I mean, but 757 Norfolk, Virginia, stand the fuck up. You guys got a legitimate heroes, I should say, man. All the Davis brothers doing it and doing it big and representing that community, man. KEYSHAWN, Businessman Davis, 11-0, 7 knockouts, climbing the ladder rapidly in the 135-pound division. Ring Magazine has them ranked number 7. The WBO, WBC, and IBF, respectively, all have him at number 3. And the WBA is fucking clueless. Yeah. And we'll just leave it at that, man. Yeah.
Actually, though, I gotta say, seriously, like, shout out Chan Thompson, but he is not over KEYSHAWN Davis in any ranking ever.
No. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's ranked, man. But the WB, you know, there's always that one alphabet organization that leaves me scratching my head when I look at the rankings. And a lot of times, real talk, it is the WBA. You know what I mean? I hate to run them down or whatever, man. But you know, come on, you carry yourselves accordingly and make the list a little more prestigious, for fuck's sake. I mean, and even Kid Austin, they have Kid Austin ahead of him, which I thought for sure, you know, he felt a certain type of way about. I may be wrong about that, man, but that's one of his big. I don't want to say one of his big rivals, but that is a guy that he's been linked to quite a bit.
He did say they got William Zepeda and then Floyd Schofield next.
Yeah. And for good reason, man. He should feel a certain type of way about that, man, because that just don't seem right in any universe, man. I mean, you know what I mean? But I mean, a 2020 silver medalist, at the Summer Olympics, man. Climbing the fucking ranks, as I said, man, doing big things at 135. And what I really love about him, as I told him flat out, man, the infectious smile, the exuberance, the passion, the speed, the power, the skill set, and the irreverence. And for people that are grabbing their dictionary right now, it just means throwing a little spice in there and not being afraid to fucking push back, call motherfuckers out, act with a little bit of a rebellious attitude. You know what I mean? KEYSHAWN will stand in the middle of that ring and call dudes out. He'll get on fucking face-to-face, whether it's the internet or rolling up on dudes, man. But he's not one of these keyboard warriors where he's hiding behind, and that's gotten to be very trendy in the sport now. He's one of those guys that if he's got a problem and wants to fight a guy, he calls the fucking dude out in the ring to their face, you know what I mean? To face to face like me and you are right now at the very least, you know what I mean? So, he's bringing that old school feeling of boxing back. And as he always says, I love to fight, you know what I mean? And he really does, man. He enjoyed that fight, man, against Miguel Medueno because he just liked trading punches with another dude. He likes to scrap.
With that being said, man, seriously, I know I say it all the time, but I'm gonna say it seriously this time because you heard KEYSHAWN Davis say this podcast is lit. He fucks with us, no cap. You heard it. So if you not liking and subscribing on this, you really are just absolutely loony.
Yeah, we just got a raving endorsement, man. I don't want to use that as clickbait, man, but I mean, I may have to fucking put somewhere in the description at the very least, man. I might have to quote. I hope KEYSHAWN doesn't take offense, but I may quote you on some of that business, man. I may quote you on a couple of those, man. I may go back and watch this episode and pull a couple quotes out on the accolades that you heaped upon us, man. But believe me, it doesn't go unnoticed, man. It's very thoughtful, man. I love that dude, man. I mean, he was engaged. He was up for it, man. I knew he would be. I already knew just from knowing who he is and being tapped in since day one that he is going to bring that kind of energy to an interview and to a podcast. In order to prep, I watched a few minutes of a couple different ones. I know he's going to bring it like that. He's just like that, dude.
He had him laughing his ass off.
Yeah. And I'm glad that's the kind of give and take that we like, man. We always say, there might be people out there bringing you podcasts that are maybe breaking down stuff, analyzing stuff, giving you the X and O's, but we're chopping it up on here. We're about chopping it up. That's why I always say, man, you know what I mean? Every description says Rexx and Bengz chop it up. That's what we do, man. We're just a couple of dudes on here chopping it up with fucking guys who we love and admire, man,
And with that being said, man, like I said, like, subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell if you're watching this right now.
Yeah.
You heard the raving endorsement. Like Rexx just said, you heard the raving endorsement. Find us on Facebook because obviously, KEYSHAWN going to be sharing this around on Facebook. So you can find it there. Find us there. And
don't be the last one to know. Don't be the guy on the desert island, man, who's fucking clueless, man. You know what I mean? And shout out to all the Davis boys, man. Keon, Kelvin, they're all out there doing their thing, man. As he said, man, DB3, they're all out there doing their thing. Shout out to Kelvin, man, because we put a lot of shine on KEYSHAWN. Kelvin on that same card last week had a big victory too, man. All the Davis brothers are not only out there doing their thing, they're representing their community like ambassadors of the sport. You know what I mean? And constantly lifting boxing up, man. And, man, we need guys like that out there in the sport, man.
Yeah, shout out to whole DB3 and big shout out to the businessman for showing us love, chopping for an hour. And with that being said, shout out Gary Busey because I can go 15 seconds with anything.
Yeah, and on that note, I will once again echo that and say shout out to KEYSHAWN, the businessman Davis, and shout out to his marketing guy, JJ, who helped me put this thing together, man. Now tapped in with him, man. It was an honor and a privilege, man, getting to do business with you, man, and, helping you facilitate this, man. It was a real blessing, man. I appreciate it. Cooperative, responsive, stayed in touch with me, man, really made this thing happen, man. As I told him in the messages, man, he's the real hero in all this, man. Obviously KEYSHAWN gets the spotlight, man, but behind the scenes, man, KEYSHAWN's got good people doing good business for him, man. And that's why he's succeeding, man. He's running a good organization there, man. And, for a young guy handling his marketing like that, man, and just getting his feet wet and learning the business, man, hats off to him, dude. He's doing a hell of a good job, man. And, this interview wouldn't have happened without his marketing guy, JJ. So shout out to him, man. And remember, folks, stay tapped in, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is the place where boxers come to chop it up and have the best boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth. So stay tapped in. And remember, if you want to be a champion, you got to roll with the champs.